This is Ahsoka's T6 Shuttle, a 599-piece LEGO Star Wars set with 4 minifigures and coming out in 2023. It also comes out at $80 and is a really cool set that also mixes much with the Clone Wars. So with that said, I'm going to ask you all to hit that subscribe button. We are this close to 20,000 subscribers, and let's get into the review. So starting off, as always, we have, of course, the box art. It is gorgeous box art. You have the Ahsoka at the corner with the teal coloring. You also have all of the set information over there, the Star Wars logo, and we have a look at the ship, and there is a little planet in the back. There is all of the minifigs, which we will get to in a bit. In terms of other box art details, there it is on the side, nothing crazy. There it is on the back. It gives you some of the details. It is a very play feature oriented build, which is very nice. You also get a look at the Ahsoka minifigure for scale, and on the bottom you get some just generalized details. Now let's get into the instruction booklet. Yes, the ugly instruction renders return that are supposedly environmentally friendly. Okay, so the running figure here is Ahsoka. I was kind of hoping it would be Huyang, but anyway, we have the advertisement for the sets on the back, the completed set, and the wing guy on the back. Now we're going to get into the time-lapse build, which does get a little cut off because my phone died while it was filming, but don't worry, you'll get into that. Let's go, and then I will come back for the minifigs. Now the first minifigure we have is Ahsoka, and this may be very well one of the best minifigures that has come out all year. It is a gorgeous figure. First, she does come with the clear lightsabers, which is very nice, and it comes with obviously the silver hilts. It's a gorgeous minifigure. They really nailed it down. You can see her, I guess, toes or whatever you would call them on the bottom of her feet. And then you just have gorgeous printing all the way around. She has arm printing, which is great. And especially because the last Ahsoka minifigure we got was not top tier, this one is a top tier minifigure in my opinion. You get beautiful back printing. I love the Togruta hairpiece, whatever you would call this particular part of the alien head. And then she comes with multiple faces. One of them is a little bit more angry. The other interesting thing is this is a rubbery piece. I thought it was going to be a more hardened plastic. It is the rubbery piece, which has great printing, by the way. They really nailed it. I think they finally have hit a really good looking Ahsoka that looks accurate to the show. I think this might be the best Ahsoka minifigure that LEGO has ever done. Now let's move into Huyang. Now this is Huyang, and he does come with a wrench, which is nice, and I like that. I really think it would be cooler if he came with a lightsaber, because he is the lightsaber training master. I am beyond excited to have him in LEGO. He is obviously a Clone Wars character, started off as a Clone Wars character, now in live action. One of the interesting things brought up about this particular minifigure is the real life character is more white and silver in live action, while in the show he's more tan in the Clone Wars show. I'm more of a fan of the Clone Wars version of him because it looks more robotic and everything and less human, I guess. So I like this version of him. I think they did a really good job with it. It's about to portion with him. The head mold is great. I love it. It is awesome. You get the beautiful torso printing and leg printing, which is, you know, pretty common nowadays for Star Wars sets, except for Commander Fox. Then you get this back printing, which, ooh, that is nice looking back printing, or this is a backpack, rather. And then he also does come with just a general back, which I find a little bit interesting because his back is kind of a part of his backpack. I'm surprised they didn't just print on the backpack, which they are prone to do, especially with clones and things like that. Maybe it was to give him some extra height. I'm not too sure. Either way, very happy to have him in LEGO Star Wars finally. Let's move into Sabine. Now here's Sabine. I am really happy that we're getting another Sabine minifigure with the helmet and all. Not super feeling this design. Maybe it's just the design from the show. She does come with a lightsaber and her 2 blasters, which can double as the painters which she used. I believe she was one of the first characters to use these initially because she had these spray paint things. She was very into her spray paint. So you would use this almost as like an example of she'd spray paint on the wall. So I find that quite interesting. I feels just almost too similar to the Mandalorian character's design. Obviously, it does come with a angry face and a happy face with this purple hairpiece. And then you can put her on her Mando helmet. It just feels very much like a generic looking Mando, and I think that's just more of an issue with the character design itself, not as much LEGO's design, like especially like with the dark brown is the same exact one that the Mandalorian uses. And yeah, it's just, I'm not super hot on the design. Especially because like the dark gunmetal gray and the brown just mix so well that it's kind of hard to tell. Like from a distance, it doesn't look great. Where other Sabines really pop, I guess it would be the correct word. Which is honestly why I prefer her with the purple hair on, and I just think that's a better way to look at her. Now let's move into the last character. Now this character is voiced by Sam Witwer. His name is Marek. He is a very cool looking dude. I do like his Inquisitor lightsaber. This is the 3rd Inquisitor we've gotten this year, so that's pretty neat. He comes with a exclusive helmet mold, which is nice. Some people are like, oh, that's great, it's exclusive and everything. A lot of these characters I feel like just tend to get forgotten. I give an example, look at all of the Knights of Ren, and we will see if he plays a significant role or not. He does come with gorgeous torso printing as per usual. I like the overarching I guess, what would you call this type of piece? Clipboard piece. And it does come with the lightsaber holder on the back, same with a lot of the other previous Inquisitors. Just an overall nice minifig. Nothing to write home about, like compared to the Knights of Ren or to other Inquisitors. He fits in line just perfectly with them. I think the helmet's a little bit weirdly proportioned, but overall, great minifigure. All the minifigures in this set truly are great. Now let's get into the build. Now right off the bat, I will admit this set is a tough cookie to display. I was trying to use this to display, and although I display it stands, it did not work out so well, but I do want to take a nice and detailed look at everything involved in it, because it has a lot of moving parts, some of which I am a fan of, some of which I am not a fan of, and we'll start off with the thing I'm the least fan of, and it's the size of it. For this type of set, I mean, there is approximately room for a minifigure in this entire build. And you can fit her right here. It is AHSOKA. There's a little control panel, which is nice. You know, that's at least nice. They're generous to include that. And you put her in there, and you have the stud shooters on the side. And I'll show you a bit more about how you could use them in a more fun way in a second. But, you know, they didn't do a perfect job with it. It is a downgraded version of a previous set. And I actually have this previous set to show you. Now, this is when Star Wars sets were much bigger. And it is not like crazy bigger. I think it's obviously like there is a sizable difference now that I look at them right like this. But you take off this piece right here and you will be able to see there is room for about 4 people in there if you cram them in very tightly. But there's room for 4. And you could definitely fit in 4. That's about all you can fit in. There's no other interior space in there. So that's nice, but with this, there is room for 1, and I think that is a significant mark against it. I think that hurts the quality of the set. And there are 2 interior spaces. Now, this is one of them over here. You can open this up, and there is actually this little build, and I'm confused as to exactly what it is trying to be. I thought it was like, oh, maybe there's like a backpack for our boy Hu Yang, who, again, I love. And you could just put it in there, and he could work on the ship or whatever, and it just stays there, so that's nice. And then you have the other area, which is just generalized storage. You could put lightsabers in there, and, you know, like I said, it's a balancing act with this guy. And you can just put lightsabers in there, really whatever you want, and it all fits. You fit all the extras you need, and again, it's a pain in the butt to keep this thing level with you. Now, in terms of exterior detailing, I think they did do a good job on one side. Yeah, you get the beautiful printing, you get that nice stickering, not overly complicated. You get stickers on both sides for this particular piece and this particular piece, and nice greebling all along the sides, and then obviously the nice red line detailing over here. Now, in terms of the engines, and again, I'm seriously struggling to keep this balanced because you need to keep it basically perfectly in line. One of my favorite things about this whole build is this creative little bubble turret in the back. I love this. It is a very simple build, and oh my goodness, it is a very simple build, but it is effective at communicating a bubble turret. I like that a lot. And there's also, I guess, the blasters. I guess that's what that is right there. And right there, very nice. And then you got that over there. Now, I am realizing my issue because I did not stit out the stands. There are stands on the bottom here that help you balance out the set, and you can put them like this, and now you can spin it around, move the wings wherever you want. Okay, that is a significant help to the set, and I should have been employing those throughout this review. Now, the main feature that obviously many of you, I'm sure, are aware of, or you could have figured it out by now, is the spinning feature. Now, you could do this in a very simple way, and I will try to do it on camera. All you have to do is this. First off, you have to close those in, and then you just spin them. That's it. Now, there's the ugly side, but we'll get to that in a second. Let's focus on the cool thing. And yeah, and that's not a new feature. LEGO Star Wars sets have done this, whether it be the Mandalorian Starfighter or the previous T6 shuttles. So it's cool, and I think one of the things that is neat is when you do it, you can shoot. So you like pew, and it's shot, boom, gone. And the bubble turret also just fell off, so that's not great. But I do love that about it, and it's pretty simple. The only thing I do notice sometimes, if you like do your hand the wrong way, it'll like carve at your finger, which I'm not a fan of, because you'd see that like it scrapes your finger. That's if you hold it just the wrong way. So I think there should be probably a little bit more freedom to do that, because like I'm noticing I'm getting myself a bit carved up in the finger department. But overall, it's a very nice design. I do think that is a fantastic play feature for kids. One of the uglier things about this set that they could have done, since they were downscaling it already, and since they were doing all this other stuff, the least they could have done is made this side detail. If you're going to be spinning it around and seeing all of it, and you're not going to have like the best display capabilities, you might as well have detailed both sides. Like this, just flip this design, just put it on this side. It's anti-stud, so you could have done that very easily. They did not, and I think that is thoroughly and completely disappointing. LEGO failed on this end with this set. That is just ugly looking. It is hideous, and again, really brings down the set. So with that said, let's get into my final thoughts on this LEGO Star Wars set. Now overall, for an $80 set, here are the pluses. The minifigures are fantastic. Every minifigure in this is great. $80 for figures, I'd say that's about fair in terms of the act, and they're all unique figures, I might add. The build is okay. It has its benefits, it has its drawbacks. That goes without saying. The price is, it's okay. I think this would be a much better $69.99 set. It's really much more in line with something like that Mandalorian Starfighter we got back in 2021, which, you know, was 2 years ago. So I don't think, I guess, what is it? Would that be a $20 price increase from that? I don't think that's fully justified. Maybe like a $5 price increase. And I've seen it going for around $65 at Costco, which is a good number. And also, I think that it will probably be going for that for the very, very near future. I think that it is not going to be set at that price, other than at LEGO stores maybe, for very long. So that's a nice little detail. I think if you get it at $65, it is a very, very good set to get. From figures to the build to everything else, $65 is a nice price for this. $80, not so much. I'd wait on it. So yeah, I give this set a solid 7.5 out of 10. The figures are really carrying it. If it did have lackluster figures, if AHSOKA did not look good, if Hu Yang did not come in it. Sabine, again, That's not really the Lego's fault, so I'm not even going to knock them. That's the design team of the show's fault. They did a good job with it, comparing it to the actual design of the show. Marek looks great. It's a solid 7.5 to 8 out of 10, I'd say. The build has a lot of lacking features. It's lacking in a lot of areas, and especially at an $8 price, they should have been able to fit at least 2 minifigures in here. The Mandalorian Starfighter could fit 2 minifigures. This definitely can. Either way, with that said, I hope you guys all enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button. I'll see you on the next one. Remember, peace out and stay awesome.